Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. Thanksgiving Eve, Thanksgiving weekend to you.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving. Sunny is here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Guys, we're bringing a special snack size episode to you this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about Ten of Swords.
Absolutely. Got to dig a little deeper. It's been quite a ride.
And I think that Hickman and company did a good job of wrapping this up.
Yeah, it definitely seemed. It seemed like it was the ending to something. Kind of what we were talking about with the three Jokers. It ended a little kind of strange. I think it's like a series or a season finale rather than a series finale. This wrapped up pretty good.
Did you feel that it was more a season finale than a series finale?
For this one,
Yeah.
X of Swords, in a way, I know whatever is gonna happen next is gonna be huge. I think I'm sold. I think it was an intense battle after we found out it wasn't just what we thought it was. Like boulder contests, we had a eating contest. There was a runway contest. Like Storm won.
We had like bar magic tricks or whatever, trying to guess
Trying to
things.
guess what
Yeah.
was on the bullet, what was under what cup. Once it started to start rolling, it
Mhm.
was like an end game war. It was awesome, like you said earlier.
There's a lot of there's a lot of build to it. I mean, it definitely has its own tone. The way they paced out these issues,
Yeah,
with 17, 18, 19, and then last week, and then 20, 21, and 22 this week.
yeah,
They each feel like they have their own kind of pace to it, and there's a build in 20. It kind of played out like an act. You can see them doing this whole 22 part series story
for sure.
as a Marvel film.
Yeah.
I mean, it would play out perfectly, and it had that end game type
Mm-hmm.
moment where you have the different groups coming in support of um, of our Krakoan champions.
Dude, it
You
was
know,
really cool. I think just from the back, I mean, what did we do? 15 is where we kind of left off. It was Ilyana Rasputin and Pog or Pog. They were supposed to fight. And Ilyana Rasputin is like very, very, very skilled in sword fighting. But it wasn't a sword fight.
no,
It was an arm wrestling match.
yeah, they had they had issues. I think they issues literally.
Yeah.
They lost some people. I think with the fact that we weren't getting showdown. They wanted this series. The way I saw it, and a lot of people were seeing it, was that they wanted to be kind of like AVX when they had Avengers versus the
Mm-hmm.
X Men. They kind of had like rounds
Yeah.
playing out,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Even when Saturnine is announcing like lineups with
Yeah.
like she's doing Betsy Braddock and Iska. Um,
Summoner and Wolverine, or excuse
yeah,
me,
yeah,
Solomon Wolverine.
yeah, and Cipher and Bay, the Blood Moon.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing like matchups. You felt like you're watching Selection Sunday or something. You're
Yeah,
you're
dude.
getting you're getting these matchups announced, and then it's like you're saying, it's like they're doing like a hot dog eating championship kind of thing. It was different.
It was very strange.
But I thought that Hickman and his other contributors did a really good job at tying this together. And like you said, it did kind of feel like a season finale because now we're going into Reign of X.
Reign of X. I was gonna ask. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, it'll be the next thing, and I think it's kind of them bringing it. It's going to be Hickman's kind of take on classic X-Men villains. I think is what his. I think that's what they're trying to approach, is that
Okay.
they're going to bring that in while kind of maybe revamping some of the teams, shaking up some of the rosters with
Yeah,
these different mutant titles.
I can see that.
Um, but yeah, it definitely had its end game moment. You know, if I had to pick a guy that like just stood out, I really loved Young Cable, but you know, Apocalypse. I mean,
Apocalypse was definitely the MVP of I think like the silent MVP. You thought he was, maybe he was just out for his own good at one point until you start finding out that he is for the better of all mutants. He is for Krakoa, you know what I mean? And he has all these family ties that are kind of getting mixed in with
with
everything.
Genesis, yeah.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
like he's not doing this out of the joy. He's doing this out of, it's his responsibility as a higher ranking mutant, you know? I think some of the not conflicts, but I think some of the beefs that some like people were having in there Solemn was doing the bargain to get the Muramasa blade, you find out that the bargain was he can switch places with Wolverine at any point. So then when Wolverine was drunk, he had to fight for him. And then they started going on like, you guys have this resurrection plan where your homeland is.
Right.
You're pretty much immortal. You have this skin that no one's gonna get through. Your healing factor is crazy. You've lost your edge. You don't know what it is to fight for your life anymore. And I thought like telling Wolverine that is like, oh man, like you got to be worth something trying to talk to Wolverine like that. And you
Right.
see a different part of Wolverine through this contest, I think,
I think so too. I mean, you still had enough comedic relief
for sure.
with him because at one point, you know, Wolverine doesn't care.
No,
He doesn't really care how if he offends you.
no,
He would not be in this this culture right now that we're in. He would not be concerned about being politically correct.
no,
He
no,
would he wouldn't be in that, he wouldn't care.
no, not at all.
It's the way that he just kind of comes across. And I think too that we saw these champions, we kind of got to find out. I was thinking about this today when I was reading the last part, okay, with these champions from Araco. We don't know a lot of background about any of them.
No,
So I think it made them sort of humanized to do these contests that were not legitimate actual battles or showdowns because we don't know enough about them until we find out like what they are, how powerful they are, what their abilities are,
right.
and everything. You're trying to find them out as you go. Um, it was I thought overall again the series definitely had lulls.
There
It
was
had
points.
it
It was a roller coaster, and I think
yeah
that's what a movie should be like, or a series, or a book, or something. If it was just too headstrong, we would have got probably overwhelmed and would have been like, "Oh, okay, this was too much." Kind of like uh, death metal was a little bit over the top, and it had its good ways, but this kind of stayed a little bit grounded. I mean, all the tie-ins are a different story, but it what I was thinking, it was going to be a battle, and it was just going to be straight up. And now this mystery thing kind of has its effect. And Jim Jaspers had more to do with it, I think. And then we find out it's kind of just nothing, you
we
know?
didn't really get a Jasper's payoff.
No,
Not really.
it was interesting because I really thought he was the reason that they're having these wacky contests.
Right.
Like maybe he was actually posing to be Saturnine.
Maybe going forward he will be more involved in that.
Like this whole multiversal omniverse champion thing, maybe that was just him trying to pull the strings to get more power, you know?
Okay, so my question is to you is now after you've gone through this, I've told you that I regularly I collect X-Men and Wolverine. Okay.
Yeah.
There's obviously many more titles than that involved in this whole crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Did this series make you going forward want to read more X-Men titles, less X-Men titles, or you know, just like the main X-Men title? Like what do you how did you come away from this?
Personally, I think it makes you get a little bit of FOMO if you don't read something, and then it's because all the tie-ins you have to. It's kind of like the little pieces to
Well,
the
the way
puzzle.
they built it up, they don't do it as a tie-in, they do it as
Right,
a chapter.
right. It's a chapter. You have to. If,
Right.
if you miss this tie-in, you missed chapter 3. So if you start at 4, you don't know what just happened. So I think it's a good way to get fans and newer readers to be open to the fact that there might be more to this story that you might have to go dig into more. I'm not too familiar with Excalibur, but now I'm like, I should have went back and kind of did a little bit more homework on it to kind of figure out what was going on there. So I think, yeah, personally, I think this has opened up more of a, how do you say, like a, I don't know, opportunity to go back and check out other titles and other things that you weren't too fond on, because there might be that gem in there that you need to know.
Right. What I think too is that, like you had mentioned, that your kind of silent MVP of this series uh, was obviously
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, but I think one of the guys that I thought about during this series that I really liked because I had known him in his older version was this young Cable,
Yeah.
and that he's calling out to. We got to back up a couple issues. That he calls out to his parents like, "I need you.
This
I
the
need your help."
and it shows such a humanizing version of Cable, the Cable that we know, and even the Cable that was portrayed in the Deadpool movie. He's a tank. He's a beast. He's not worried about anything. You
No.
know what I mean? This one, he's like, he calls out and he's like, "Dad," and he's like, "I got you, son. I'm on the way." And it shows
Right.
like a real, like a family moment. I think
Yeah.
Cyclops was probably excited to have that moment with his son. You know what I mean? Because he didn't really get it with older Cable.
I think more so than anything that what Hickman's done a really good job. If you went back and read the Dawn of X miniseries, or if you read Powers of 10, or
Mhm.
even now with this Ten of Swords series, is that he has a good way of connecting the mutant titles to where um, it's very family based,
Yeah.
and you have that connectivity, that like that sort of like DNA strand between all the mutants that connects the titles.
Right.
I don't think going forward, I would probably still be. I'm not going to buy the rest of these books going forward on a regular month-to-month basis if they're tie-ins.
Yeah.
If it's something that's ongoing for more chapters, then I'm going to be checking them out.
Yeah, you have to, you know.
But I
Like I
don't.
said,
Yeah,
it's FOMO when like you find out that everybody else was having a good time and you didn't go because of something. Something just told you, "Oh, I don't need to pick up this book," and then you find out towards the middle someone got the sword or
uh
someone died, and you're just like, I should have did this."
right. Well, I like the Marauders lineup as that title. I like their lineup, but again, I really don't. I could take it or leave it
Yeah.
as far as like reading it, on a monthly basis. So I mean, overall, the series was cool. Definitely had its lulls. If you're watching it as like a movie, maybe during issues like 12, 13, 14 is when you would like go to the bathroom
Yeah.
or something
You're like,
instead
"Okay,
of,
I could go get some popcorn now," or I could, yeah.
right, yeah, get the refill, whatever.
But see, 20 and 21 is when I'll kind of relate it to the end game factor is when Thanos comes back into the future and he's up in the sky. It's about to be a war zone, and flipping through these pages, oh man, I think
It
that
had that feel.
it was the illest thing when Cyclops did his speech and he's talking. He was like, "Jean, do you want to take it from here?" It's like, if we die here, this is it. So if you're
Yeah.
worried about holding back anything,
Don't.
don't.
Yeah.
And like, it was just the illest feeling. It was like Captain America saying, "Avengers assemble," you know? And you see a rain of just X-Men, Gambits throwing cards out of the sky,
The mutants are falling out
falling out of the
sky.
sky like
Yeah.
a sky drop. It was the
It was
illest
It
scene.
was really cool, and we mentioned too about this because we know that spoiler, someone is passing away, and that it involves the Britain Corps, obviously
Hmm.
Captain Britain Corps, and then they're all called to this too. It's
Well, yeah, you were telling me even in prior, when a member of the Captain Britain Corps falls,
They all respond.
they all respond.
Yeah.
So the piece that they know is like, oh, we can get an extra boost of help. Let's. What were you say? It was kind of like piecing together her, like, I don't know, like spirit or her entity or
yeah,
something.
it looked kind of like a stained glass or something, but it was on the ground, and like Emma Frost had realized like what she was looking at, and
Right.
it's like, oh my gosh, like
We got
we
this.
made a mistake kind of thing, and then they all show up. It was really cool. But guys, overall, if you have the opportunity, check out Ten of Swords. It was really fun.
I think the closest thing to relate this to make people buy into it, it's like Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
There's its lead ups like the, people finding the stones and all that. I would relate that to everybody getting their swords and the end sequence. There's a crazy battle. Everything makes it feel like you're getting this apocalyptic battle. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it ends on a way where it does have a finisher. There was some emotion behind it.
Mhm.
It went deep. You find out all of these little facts. Apocalypse gets a crazy power boost.
Yeah.
Does something a little bit left field that you don't think that he's gonna do, and
Yeah,
ends up kind
it
of
was pretty
saving the
cool.
day.
It was pretty cool.
So I definitely think, yeah, if you guys got time, check out Ten of Swords. Do some back homework. We got our boy Marcel going back
We
and
got him hooked.
got him hooked. Going back and looking at old YouTubes or old comics. It's the best way to do it, man. It's an awesome story.
Yeah. So, guys, this is it for our snack size episode.
Yeah, this is
our
a quick
review
one.
of the Ten of Swords. But stay tuned. We'll have some more surprises because the side dishes. There's always cranberry and stuffing and
Ooh,
everything
mashed
else.
potatoes.
Maybe we have a macaroni and cheese or green bean casserole coming up. We'll
Ooh.
see what happens.
no green bean casserole.
No, okay, maybe not.
Some yams.
I love it. I'm with it. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Later, guys.